Hello everyone, welcome back to Zinteractive, and now we will be going through the part C of the lesson Lights, Camera and Render of Maya software. So we have an option here which is known as the light editor, which is a very quite handy tool, and it helps you a lot when you are organizing lights. Okay, so before going through that, if I pretty much zoom out, you can see that I have three different lights here. One is here, other one is here, this one is here. Okay, so I can click on them and I have to go to the attribute and I can do some changes here. Other way to do, and very much efficient way you can say also, is to go to Windows here. Okay, and then you can go to the rendering editors, and here you will see light editor. Okay, now inside the light editor it will give you this kind of a option here. Now in the light editors you can only see the lights that you have in your scene. Okay, so let me make this a little bit smaller here. Okay, so it becomes easier for you to look around. Okay, and let me do one thing here. Let me make it for screen so that you can see that here. And let me close this one here as well. Now if you see here, I have all these lights. Okay, and I can select these lights in the light editor also. So I can click over here in the spotlight, so this spotlight is selected. If I click on this spotlight is selected, and if I click here, this one will be selected. Now directly I can go to the settings as well. I can go and change the color of it directly from here. I can change the intensity, and you can see how the intensity is changing at this point. I can change the exposure, but this exposure is basically for the Arnold. It will not work here if you're using the Maya software renderer. Okay, and also the sample. Now I can go to this light. I can do the same thing. I can change the color to it. Maybe I don't want this color. I want it to have a bluish color. Okay, so I will have a little darkish blue or lightish blue, whatever blue we want, or I want off-white color. So this kind of changes, I can do that. I can go to directional light. I can change the intensity of the directional light. Okay, and then I can change the like rotation of the directional light. As you know, it works with the rotation. I can do the rotation change from here. Like maybe I can change it to 90, so you can see that it's pointing upwards. Okay, or maybe -90, so it can point downward. This one maybe I can change it to 25. Okay, and this one maybe I can change it to 50. So you can see now how it is changed, and I can change the the position of it. But usually if you will change the position for your directional light, nothing will change, because it is depending only on the direction, and you can change through the rotation. So this is how you can easily work on it. Other thing what you can do here is that you have here isolation and disable mode. Suppose I won't want to see this spotlight, so I can disable it. So what does the disable will do is that it will only disable it from the scene. It will not delete it. Okay, so now I cannot see any light from that part. Or let me bring it back. Or I want to isolate this light, means like I only want to see this light's setting. So I can click on here. Okay, isolate this, and as soon as I will do that, now it is only showing me the setting of this light, like how this light is affecting. So that I can do that. Okay, I can make a group here. Okay, I can go here, create a light group. I can rename it to whatever I want. Maybe I can light type 1. Okay, and I can take all like some of these light. Okay, or maybe these two light inside this in this group. Okay, and I can close this group. So now I have I can make another one. Okay, single light. I can rename it and move this one inside this and close it. So I have now two groups, one with these two light, one with this light. So now I can disable this group, okay, so I can see this like scene also, or I can disable this so I can see only this group. Okay, so this is what I can do also. So these are different ways, okay, to apply the lighting and change the light, like mainly not applying, mainly organizing and adjusting the lights. Okay, so this is a good way to do that through the light editor. One more interesting thing about the light editor is that it gives you a option which is basically look through like option. What it is basically, like suppose if I will select this light here, okay, which is this one, and click on the look through window. So I will get this window. Now what is this window is? This window is a point of view of the spotlight. So I'm right now looking through the point of view of this light. So imagine using the same shortcuts like what I use in the viewport. I can use that and I can move around. And when I'm moving, see what is happening. That light is actually moving. So suppose now I know, okay, the light should come from here. So I will point it out here a little bit and notice that how it got changed here in this scene. So it's a very handy tool, this one, look through window. Okay, so I hope you have understood about the light editor. Now we will move to the batch render and see how the batch rendering works. Now we will see how to do batch rendering. Batch rendering usually you do when you want to render an animation. So if you see, I have this scene on my screen. Okay, you can find this in the exercise file which is uploaded. You can find the link in the description. If I move around, you can see that from 0 to frame 55 I have this animation. Okay, and this is basically camera 1. So you can see that perspective camera is a different camera and camera 1 is this one which is animating. So this is the camera 1 and you can see these keyframes also here, the red in the camera 1. So you have to keep in mind that your camera 1 is the animating camera and that is you have to render. So before doing the batch rendering, we have to do some settings here. We have to go to the settings option in the Maya rendering here. Then you have to choose what you want. I will not choose Maya software because it will be quite slower and then we have to wait a lot to render. You can do it later on when you are finalizing your render, but for testing I will use Maya hardware. So I will choose Maya hardware. Okay, and this is what it is showing me. It will be going to render in my images folder in the exercise files. Okay, I have here from 01 to 0020 it will be rendered. Okay, here I have my file name. I have given it test render and I want it to be a JPEG image. Okay, this is my frame animation, like a naming convention. I will use this one. Okay, I want it to render from start 1 and then I don't want to render all the 55 frames, otherwise it will take time. So I will render it from 1 to 20. Then renderable camera, I don't want to render the perspective camera, I want to render the camera 1 because this is the one which is rendering. Now everything is done. I will press close here. Now make sure that you have rendering on this part, otherwise your rendering option will not show. Now this render option is showing. Simply I will go here, I will go to batch render settings here. Okay, and it won't show you all like the settings basically because we are using Maya hardware. If we are not using Maya hardware, if you're using Maya software, suppose, okay, and then go to render and click over here in the batch render, then it will show you here. Okay, about the processors, because Maya software uses the processors. But if you are not using the Maya software, using hardware, so you don't get actually like any kind of settings here. Okay, so you just have to simply go here and press the batch render button. Only do that if you're using Maya hardware. Okay, so I will just press this here to close it. And now let's see, it should be rendered by now. Let's see where it is rendered. So now I'm in my exercise folder and in my images, and you can see that I have all these files now inside here. So if I double click any one of these, you will notice that it's here. So if I'll press next button and keep on pressing this, so you can see that it is quite animating the way we want it. Oops, I just pressed I think twice. Okay, so this is how it will you can do the batch rendering. Okay, so if I will press the next button here, you can see that all the frame 1 to 20. Okay, so this is how you can do the batch render, and your rendering will be done. Now in Maya we do have an option called render setup, and inside the render setup you can set up some layers. So to find it, you can either go here in the Windows, okay, in the rendering editor you can find a render setup. So if I will move here to this scene, let me go to all the scene view. Okay, so you can see this scene here. Okay, so basically if you go to render setup, you will see scene here, and inside that we have rendering settings, we have AOVs, we have lights, pretty much everything. So if I hide this, so nothing will change because this is the only layer we have right now. So everything is inside this. And one more thing here we can do is that I can make a new layer here and put whatever I want in that layer, and I can toggle between these two layers, the original one or the one that I will create. Let's create a new layer, and I will call this new layer furniture maybe. Okay, so I have this furniture here, and now I cannot put inside the anything inside the furniture. I cannot put anything inside the furniture. The reason is that because it have to be a collection. There should be a collection inside it. So I can right click here, okay, create a collection. So once I do that, I can add either an expression over here, okay, like suppose if I have a if you will go through here, it will give you some examples, okay, like you can see on the screen. So if I type here static, okay, press enter, so everything will be added to it, okay. Or I can type here like a keyword from here, like suppose I have a keyword here only room maybe, so whatever is about only room will be added here, okay. So I can write here added only room, press add, okay. So whatever is that is in the only room, the keyword will be added here, okay. So that you can do. Or I can go to my outliner and I can drag things in my like this like section, okay. Suppose I have this TV stand, I can drag with the middle mouse button inside here. Now I have a TV base stand here, okay. Now I have this frame which is here, I can drag this one here, okay. And then I have this painting here which is basically inside this frame, okay, which is this one. So you can drag this one here. Then I have these statues, ballerina statues, I will drag them here, all these, okay. Then I have this stereo and this table, I will drag these also here, okay. Now every one of these things are here. Now suppose if I click on this button, this toggle button, so you can see that I'm not in this scene layer anymore. Now I'm in this furniture layer, and whatever is inside the collection of the furniture layer is showing on the screen, okay. And whatever it is not, it's not showing over here. So if I click back here, I will go back to the original one and I can see everything which is here. So this is how you can make a render setup, and you can add whatever you want to do. Now let's do like a kind of a practical approach over here and work on that. Let me do one thing here. I will take all these and remove them. Okay, now what I want is that I only want the lights to go inside this. So I will change the name of this furniture and name it night scene. So the idea behind is that right now, if I render this scene, it will render a day scene. Okay, so if I will go here and render this scene, so you will see that the scene which is rendering right now is this day scene. Okay, so you can see a day scene is being rendered. But what if I want to switch between day and night scene? So that means I have to do a lot of changes. Okay, I have to add some lights, change those lights to night scene, add some different kind of background. So it will be quite a lot of work. But with the help of this render setup, I can do it easily. So first of all, let me do one thing. Let me take a snapshot of this, and I'll minimize it. Okay, so I made a new collection here of night scene, and here I will rename to this selection, and I will write here lights. Okay, now I will take all the lights, okay, from my scene here and add to this selection here. Okay, now I have all these lights added here, and then I will make a new selection, like new collection here. Go back here, create a collection, and you can make as many collections you want. Okay, so I will make a new collection here, and I will type here outdoor scene, outdoor night scene maybe. Okay, and inside this outdoor night scene, what I can do is that I can take this planar object, out sky, this is known as the out sky, and I will take the out sky and drag it here. Okay, so if I toggle, so you can see only I am able to see these lights and this outdoor. Okay, but I don't want to do that here basically. Okay, I will close this one, and then what I will do is that I will make a new collection here, and I will type here items, and inside the items basically I will take everything from here except for the one which I already added here. Okay, I will not take lights, I will not take the out sky. Rest of the other things I will take it and I will put it here. Okay, now if I will click here, so you will be able to see there is no change basically, because they both are same, only the collections are a little different. Now this is the night scene. So what we can do is that we can go to the lights option here. Okay, we can see our lights here, spotlight and all these. Now what we can do is that we can add something here which is known as the overriding settings. Okay, now what is the overriding settings? If I will change the settings of this spotlight in the attribute editor, what it will do is that it will change the light setting for both of these scenes, this one also and this one also. But overriding setting is what? If I will apply any settings in this part, so if it is turned on, that setting will only show. If I turn on this, so it will go back to the normal settings. Okay, so how to do that? First of all, I will turn this on. I will make sure I'm in the lights and my light is selected here. Okay, now here I can click a button where you can add any kind of attributes or editor or anything. Okay, so you can click here. Okay, or I think it's better we can click on the we can right click here. Okay, and create any kind of any kind of these new attributes. Okay, but what I will do is that I don't want to do that. I have to just click here like this spotlight. Okay, so basically this spotlight is is the small one which is which is coming from the outdoors. Okay, so I will take this spotlight here. You don't have to worry about, you don't have to select anything here. I just like select it here so that I know what is the name of this. Okay, so you have to just focus here. So I have selected this one here. Okay, and here I have an overriding option here. So if I will go to the intensity, middle click my mouse button and drag it over here, so it will add an absolute override intensity. So if I will click here, okay, so you will notice that it is showing me the same thing with a different color here. Okay, so if I will reduce this, just notice what is happening to that, to the spotlights. Okay, so this is actually will happen to the spotlight, which is the outdoors. Eventually not the outdoors, all the spotlights, because I have added all the spotlights in this area. So there are all the spotlights here, so it is affecting all the spotlights, not only spotlight 1. So if you don't want that if you don't want the affect all these lights to be affected, so what you can do, you can make a different selection for each light, but I have put all of them in one, so it's fine for me, it's okay. Okay, other thing what I can do here is that I can go back here and I can take the color and I can drag the color as well over here. Okay, like I have to middle click here and add it here, and you can see that the color is over here as well. So you can see that if I will go here, you can see the color, it's added here. So I can change the intensity from here, I can change the color from here, and whatever you will see here blue or like orangish, that is because it is showing you that you are in the night scene mode here. Okay, now I can change from here something like a purplish. Okay, because usually the sky looks a little purplish when it is night time. Okay, something like that, and you can reduce this here. Intensity is too low now, so I can little bit increase it. Okay, so this is how it will work. But now issue is that the background here is quite, you can see that a little bit brighter. It does not look like it is a night view. So what I can do is that I can go to I can close these select the collections here. I can go to my outdoor scene, to the out sky now. Okay, so I will right click here and then I will go to create a override. Now what override I want to create? A material override. So I will press on the material override. So I will have an override material here. Okay, now what it is asking me what kind of material you want to replace it with this one. Okay, so at this stage, if you will click here, you will see that there is a different kind of material on it, and that material is known as day. Okay, so if I will go to my hyper shade, inside the hyper shade I have day. Okay, somewhere here. Okay, pretty much somewhere it is here. Here it is. Here is a day, but I also have a night. So I have a night also and I have a day also. So at this stage, what I need to do is that I have to see this night. Okay, I can I can close this one. I just open it just to show you that I have two materials made. One is day, which is applied, and one is night, which I will write over here. So if I will type here night, so it will go in the hyper shade and it will search for the material night. And when this is turned on, it will replace this day to the night. So I will just press enter and you can see that it has applied the night material on it, and you can see that it is being little bit darkish color. So if you want, if you don't want it to be too dark, so you can go back to the lights mode here intensity, and a little bit intense, higher you can make it. Okay, now I have all my collections and everything's like here, like set up. If I want to render a night scene, so simple, what I can do is that I can go back here, I can turn this on. If I want to render the day scene, if I want to render the night scene, this have to be turned on. If you want to render the day scene, you have to simply go here and click on this. As soon you will click it, it will not show all the settings there are here. It will show you the original settings. But if you want to come back here and see the normal one, which the night one, so you have to turn on the night one from here, and it will go back to the night one. Okay, now simple, I can go back, can close this one. I can go to the rendering here. Okay, and I will press the rendering button, and you can see that it has now started to render the night scene. Okay, so this is how you can do some kind of you can make different kind of render setups, and you can switch between each one of them, and you don't have to do a lot of things here. You don't have to change a lot of lights kind of settings. You don't have to do so many other things. You just have to go to those overrides, create overrides, and if you don't want all the lights to be in one collection, because otherwise if you will apply an override, it will be applied on all the lights. So you can make override for each light. Okay, so now you can see that I have this before and this after. So this is how you can simply change like that. I'm using hardware render I have placed all my lights in one collection. That's why I was not able to change these like shadow, but you can keep it on different collections, and then you will be able to change these shadows also. Okay, so thank you everyone for supporting my channel, and keep sharing it. If you have not subscribed it, subscribe it, click on the bell icon, and share this to this channel with everyone, so everyone can learn how the Maya works and how the other software works, because there will be a lot of tutorials coming up, tutorials for the 3D Studio Max, After Effects, Houdini, Unreal Engine, so many things. Okay, so everything will be free, and we will have detailed complete courses like this one. We are doing the Maya Essentials. We will have for 3D Studio Max also the same thing, for ZBrush also, and then we will keep on moving. And also we will have bonuses videos, we will have interviews of different artists, and we have some tips and tricks, and so many things will be coming up, and all for free. Okay, so feedback will be also there if you have any questions. So you can like our Facebook page, you can leave your questions there, you will be answered there, and there will be a whole community there on the Facebook. You can like our Facebook page and also the Instagram page. So please stay connected, like all of our pages, and follow on our all social medias. Thank you everyone, and see you in the next lesson.